Welcome to Chat with Rita and Sri, and to our series videos how to ask for a raise so that you can get it. Our last video tip was share your goals with your boss and ask for a feedback. Welcome Rita again. So before we start our tip 2, what do you want from the viewers to remember from the last video?
Hello, I'm glad to be back, and I want you to remember that the most important thing is that before you even think of asking for a raise, your performance has got to be top rate. You really have to be performing well before you can think about asking for a raise. Right, and now let's talk about tip 2, which is to take on more responsibility at work.
Wait a minute. So this means that you want the employee to take and to do more responsibility without being asked to do. This is not very popular.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm going to convince you and other people that that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So basically what we're going to do, there are five steps in this tip about taking on more responsibility at work. And our first tip is going to be, our first step is going to be choose an area for improvement in the work that you're doing now.
Yeah. Okay. So let's assume that I'm the employee. So this means that I'm going to take the feedback that I got it from the previous meeting with my manager.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and then start taking some steps to improve my work. Right?
Exactly. That's exactly what I mean. And even if you don't have a lot of time, let's say even 15 minutes, it would even be better if it were 30 minutes. If you can use that time every day to improve an area or even more than one area, then you already have, you already are on the right road to basically improving your skills.
Yeah. Okay. So now, and I'm the employee, and I already started to take some steps to improve my work. Then what?
Step 2 is to start learning about how to solve the problems that you will meet in your future job, the next level up job.
So I really think it's too much.
Yeah.
How come, and as if like I'm employee, how come I can improve my current tasks in my job and then at the same time work on developing new skills for the future job?
Okay, so what we're talking about here is investing in your future, and I can understand that it might seem like a lot, but I want to mention something that's very important. Investing in your future, especially in the area of innovation and problem solving, these are 2 skills that are required, and they will be required for the future. So I would definitely recommend that you invest in learning how to problem solve. So if you're going to learn how to problem solve, also learn to problem solve at the level of the next job. Mm-hmm. And then see at what level the problems are at. So you can do it a little bit at a time. It doesn't mean that you have to jump in and do everything at the same time. Mm-hmm. But you're not going to get a promotion and you're not going to get a raise if you are not performing way above average, right? Mm-hmm. To begin with. Mm-hmm. So then we know that the person is competent, right? Mm-hmm. So the company is going to want to keep you. Why? Because already you've proven yourself to them. They know that you're performing very well, and they know that you have a potential for the future. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they're not going to invest. So this is an investment. They won't invest in you if you're not performing well and if you're not, if they don't see a future for you in the company.
Mm-hmm. This means that I have to perform well, and I have to work on developing my skills for the coming future job.
Definitely. So, Nasreen, are you ready for step 3?
Are you ready for? Yes.
Yeah, okay, because I have a feeling you're not going to like this one too much. Okay, I'm sorry. Step 3 is volunteer for extra projects or duties as long as they are within your competency.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Some people, yeah, it sounds strange because some people don't do that because they might think that their colleagues will think that I'm showing off.
Yeah, or you're trying to influence the boss in some way, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as the colleagues go, I would say don't worry about them. Keep them in the background. And if they do say something, then you can say, look, you know what, I want to learn some extra skills. I want to make sure that I can earn more money in the future. So give them a reason that makes sense.
So let me ask you here, is it okay for me as an employer, as an employee, is it okay for me to ask for extra responsibility in my free time?
Okay.
To ask my boss, I mean,
Yeah.
for extra responsibilities in my free time?
Yeah, and that really, your colleagues would not be happy about that one. You would definitely not want people to know about that, right? Anyway, I would say definitely. I think it's a very smart strategic move in terms of just, going along in terms of your career, getting along higher up. So what happens is this: if you do have time, it's perfectly fine to go to your boss and say, I have some extra time, and I would really like to be able to use that time, do you have any particular project or duties that I could do, as long as they're in my area of competency? I think that not many employees do that, and so to go and say that, most bosses would be very happy, and they will try to find something that will allow you to grow as well.
So in this case, the employee, he has to know how to manage this in terms of his colleagues and with the manager at the same time, because it will be a value added to him. Right? So what is step 4?
Step 4 is to develop your time management skills, so that you're always meeting your deadlines and that you get a reputation for meeting your deadlines. And sometimes maybe even impress your boss by turning something in early.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because it's better to surprise the boss from time to time with early deadline instead of making it a habit, because he might give me early deadlines.
Earlier ones, yeah. Right, exactly. Okay, now we get to step 5, which is to make sure that you understand the core strategy of the company and of the department that you work for.
Okay, so, but as an employee, why do I need to know the core strategy? Senior managers are the one who put the strategy. I'm not involved in it.
Right, you're not involved in the strategy, but basically you're involved in helping the company meet that strategy or be successful with it. And you're going to look for the things that are important to them, so that you know what to focus your attention on, so that your performance evaluation is good. So I have one last recommendation for you. Always make sure that you ask the hard questions when you don't understand something, and always make sure that you align your focus with the focus of the company or your department.
Let me recap the points of tip 2, which is take on more responsibility at work. So follow these steps. Actually, I wrote them, Rita, because there are so many of them.
I know.
Okay, so let's start. Step 1. If there are areas where you think you can improve, look for specific ways to do so. Step 2. Start learning how to solve the problems that you would be facing at the next job level. Step 3. Volunteer for extra projects, duties, if they are in your area of competency. Step 4. Develop your use of time management so that you meet all deadlines or even turn things early. Step 5. Understand the core strategy of your organization and your department.
Great job, Nassreen. I know that there were a lot of them, but they're critical for your success in asking for a raise and eventually in being promoted.
Thank you, Rita.
You're welcome, Nassreen.
And thank you for joining us at Chat with Rita and Nasreen. And watch our next video in our series How to Ask for a Raise so that you can get it. Make sure to subscribe on our social media channels, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube.